Hello and welcome. This is Kengo, aka GomJabbar on Battle.net, and I'm doing my first ever Silver League match. That's right, I got promoted like 2 weeks before the beta ends, but that's okay. So I'm Terran at the top right, and my opponent is Protoss. He is Squikk with 2 Ks, and I will spoil it. I lost this match, but it's really funny why. And well, you'll see. So I'm sending my SCV out. I changed all my build timings to 10 supply, 12 barracks, 12 supply, etc., etc. I think that's a standard. So this way I don't have to ever cut probes or SCVs, which is pretty good. And here's my opponent is already supply blocked. So I'm already up a little bit here, I guess. And let's take a look at the income. No, he's actually a little ahead in income, but he has 11 harvesters just because he's Protoss, and that's what he gets. That's nice of him. I'm getting my barracks up. Okay, I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to look at my mini-map more. I notice I don't do that when I play. So, building this. Where's this probe going? Oh yeah, I walled off so his probe pathfinding got all messed up. I feel like it should really go up here and just sort of idle. That'd be better. He noticed this. He has pretty good micro, that's one thing I noticed. And not great. And here I just barely got that up in time. Whew. He's going to attack that, but I don't really care. I got a Marine coming out. Not worried. I get my command center, or my orbital command out at 16. That's late, I think. That's alright. And I'm sitting on 145, 40. I should be getting a reactor, right now. That's okay. I'm just getting my second barracks out. I'm pretty happy with a bunch of barracks in the beginning, because then I get a lot of Marines, and Marines are super useful. And here my scouting SCV gets in here, and I go and hide behind these bushes. I don't even know if he saw me. I guess he did, but he just doesn't care. So he's going to keep massing probes. He's got 1 gate and 1 cybernetics core, and he's making sentries. That's interesting. So, sentries. And you'll see that he really doesn't get much of a ground army in this matchup. So I'm looking at at times during this match that I really could have attacked earlier. So I got my reactor up. I finally am pumping out Marines, and on this guy I'm building another reactor. I want a lot of Marines in this match. Why is that? Well, here's why. Look at that, he's building a Stargate. Yeah. You probably know what this means. I'm just going to get this guy to die here real quick, and he's gone. So what this means is that he's going to be building Void Rays. And I've got 4 Marines, and what am I doing? I am very, very low on minerals, and up at 151 on gas. That's pretty high. So I guess I'm using this factory to build tanks, or yeah. I think that was maybe a mistake. Let's see. Yeah, I should really be getting a starport and or an engineering bay out here so I can deal with his air. And unlike most Protoss who decide to rush to Void Rays, he's not going to wait until he has a couple. He's just going to send one out. The very first one. And this turns out to be pretty good for him. He uses it for very nice harassment. I've got double gas now. And why do I have double gas? That's a good question. I wish I knew the answer. I'm researching siege tech and getting a tank out. That's good. I guess I should be pushing right when this finishes. And I'm getting a little high on supply. Am I making a supply depot? Yes, I am. Awesome. Okay, that's pretty good news for me. My APM is up at 72, 60, and falling down, but that's alright. Income, he is way ahead right now. Huh. Oh well. And army, he is pretty far ahead. He's got 3 sentries, 2 sentries and 1 stalker. And he's going to send in his Void Ray to not harass. He specifically targeted my command center. So I react by sending all my Marines up, and then remembering not to send my tank up. And here's me not microing my Marines. And he's just going to sit out here, right out of range. So there's my SCV getting caught up in my select of units, and making more Marines. He's gonna poke in at the front with his other Void Ray. So what he's doing is, not crashing my computer, he is splitting his Void Rays up and attacking in 2 different spots, which is pretty good. And here I've left my forces out of position, but that's okay because it worked. But of course, all my Marines are now at the bottom. I should really be splitting these guys about in half. Retreating my SCVs. I know I'll probably sound like a noob saying this, but I really do think Void Rays need some adjusting, and Blizzard has said so too. I mean, they said they're going to look into the Void Ray and definitely change some things. I think that maybe they should have a bit of a delay in changing targets. Maybe they should have less starting damage, so that they'll be weaker against single small units like the Marines, because their point, as Blizzard has said, is really to be able to focus down large structures and units like battleships and other things like that. Anyway, getting back to my match here, I'm sitting on 400, 300, which is pretty bad, but that's okay. But my opponent, he's sitting at 1500, 300. And he's just now throwing up an expansion with an idle probe. He only has a single gateway. No, I'm sorry, he has 2 gateways, but no warp gate technology. And he goes straight into Twilight Council. And he still only has 2 Void Rays. That's it. So I'm doing okay here. I have like no army. That's not good, but oh no, they're up here. Okay. Yeah, they're worried about this guy. So now I've got my engineering bay up and I've got turrets up. That's pretty great, right? And I'm going to be researching STEM. No, I guess I'm not. What am I doing? I guess I'm moving out with this really tiny army. Oh, that's right. I'm not watching my mini-map. I've already attacked. So here we go. I'm just going to keep going in the interest of saving time. And I've taken out his expansion, and I've taken out his front. But unfortunately, my army no longer has any anti-air capabilities. Look how quickly this thing chews through tanks. That's a lot of damage. And here I send in 2 little Marines, not this guy. And he's got his 2 Void Rays now focusing down my tank. But he's done with Void Rays. They're gone. He's not building anymore, at least. I mean, he still has these 2. So I'm going to send out another small force. This is probably too small, but sending it out anyway, with more Marines. But this is probably still too small against 2 Void Rays, right? I think it is. Anyway, and I've expanded to try and use up that all that money I have stored up. So I'm sitting at 300, 500. I've got way too much gas in this match. I should not get my second gas so quickly. He's making a pylon for us, but it doesn't matter. So even now, if I just sit back and chill at my base, which is what I'm going to do, I'd be pretty much okay. This many Marines would actually do a good chance against these void rays, but yeah, right now I'm just pumping marines, transferring my probes down to my expansion, and building more barracks to get more marines, because I see that he went void rays, and I'm assuming he's going to get more. But no, he's not. What's he getting? A dark shrine. And gateways, and more gateways, because he has 3,000 minerals, 890, 900 gas. So here's my beautiful marine army. Pretty much all marine. There's one marauder, and a Viking to deal with that. That's what I want to deal with. Look at that, I just destroyed that thing. So, it takes me a little while to react to this, but that's okay. And moving in, this Viking should easily destroy these things. And they're going to fall.